What would you say if I told you Sony was releasing a new Gran Turismo game every year? You would say that it's milked. You would say that it's becoming like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or Madden or any of these sports games. But when Microsoft does it, nobody wants to talk about it. I called this about a week ago, and I've been talking about it over the last couple years, that Microsoft has somehow gotten away with annualizing a racing simulator. Forza Horizon 6, Forza Motorsport 6. There are so many games in the series I mix up the names. Forza Motorsport 6 has just been announced to come out in 2015. Meanwhile, just a few months ago, Forza Horizon 2 came out. Less than 2 years ago, Forza Unfinished 5 came out. A game that was drastically, the visuals were drastically downgraded from its E3 showing in order to be able to hit the 1080p 60 frames per second target that a lot of exponents like to hype up. Meanwhile, they don't like to talk about the fact that the shadows in the final game were running at 30 frames per second. You had embarrassing 2D crowds, and you had fake reflections and lighting. But that's okay because it's running at 1080p 60 frames per second. But I thought you guys didn't care about resolutions or frame rates. So now Forza 6 has been announced, and this is why Sony enthusiasts, Sony fans like myself, like to say that Xbox is only about Halo, Gears, and Forza. And we have proof. Last year, in 1 month, 4 Halo games came out. The following month, the Halo 5 beta came out. You guys canned a new IP in order to release another new Gears of War game when the last Gears of War sold 1.51 million copies. And now you're milking Forza dry as well. Let's look at the sales for the Forza franchise. While Forza 2, 3, and 4 all sold well, including the original Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon 1 sold 1.87 million copies, which is decent for a different type of Forza game, but still. Then Forza Unfinished 5 came out, like I said, a lot of issues, and it sold 1.85 million copies, just a few more copies than what Knack sold on PlayStation 4. Plus, Forza Unfinished 5 is only a single A rated game with a 79 on Metacritic. It's not double A, it's not triple A like The Last of Us, it's a single A rated game, but you guys are hyping it up. Adam Sessler gave it a 10 out of 10, even though it had so much content stripped from the previous Forza game, and it was severely downgraded, like I said, visually. Forza Horizon 2 had to release on 2 platforms in order to sell over 1 million copies. With an install base of over 80 million consoles, Xbox 360's version of Forza Horizon 2 sold 500,000 copies only. With an install base of over 10 million consoles, Forza Horizon 2 on Xbox One couldn't even sell 800,000 copies. And it had an 86 on Metacritic, meaning it's not a bad game, but the general public does not care. We're burnt out on Forza. And the funniest thing is, Gran Turismo 6, while almost as technically impressive as Forza Motorsport 5 on Xbox One, even though Gran Turismo 6 came out on PlayStation 3, Gran Turismo 6 came out almost a month after the PlayStation 4. Not a lot of hype behind it. You know, all the hype was for the PlayStation 4, a brand new Sony console, and games like Killzone, Knack, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Call of Duty, all that stuff. That was the big thing at the time. And Gran Turismo 6 still managed to sell 3.14 million copies, which is as much as Forza Unfinished 5 on Xbox One, plus Forza Motorsport 2 on Xbox One, plus Forza Motorsport 2 on Xbox 360. So people care about Gran Turismo, even when it's still releasing on PlayStation 3 exclusively. But nobody seems to care about Forza at all, really. So I can't wait to see if Forza Motorsport 6 is going to be downgraded from their initial reveal showing that they'll show us to the final game. I can't wait to see if people are actually going to buy it. And we'll see if Microsoft continues to milk this franchise. I'm calling it now. Forza Horizon 3 is coming out in 2016. I'm calling it right now, guys. But it's just funny to me how, a lot of people like to bash Assassin's Creed for coming out every year when each game is actually different from one another. But nobody wants to talk about Microsoft releasing a racing simulator every year. I'm calling it right now. Like I said, Forza Horizon 3 is coming out next year, and when Gran Turismo 7 comes out, it will annihilate every installment in the Forza series.